Okay, after having a few days to reflect on the season, a couple things, really stand out to me. At the first of the year, one of our main goals was to get our edge back, to play hard-nosed, blue-collar, smash-mouth football, and I really feel like that our guys accomplished that. Bottom line is we came within 13 seconds of winning the national championship. The very first of the year, I think the very first game we was probably average at best. Our guys found a way to get better each game and found a way to get us to the last game and come that close to winning. That was very special to be a part of. Extremely proud of our team, the way they represented us all year. They laid a foundation that the future is very bright, and really looking forward to the future and building this thing the right way.
Questions? Coach, compared with how you felt after the national championship 3 years ago, do you feel a lot more optimistic that you got a much better team coming back?
Well, I mean, obviously we won 3 years ago and we lost this one at the end. But if you're talking, big picture as far as moving forward, we got a lot of our main players coming back. We feel very good about our overall program and where we're going, and really feel like our best days are ahead of us.
Gus, in that final sequence on 3rd and 8 from the 10, you were trying to call timeout before the pass interference. What did you see that you didn't like? You wanted to get a timeout in there?
Well, at the time there was a little discussion, to make sure that we had a good idea of what they were going to do and who they're going to go after, and so that was really about it.
Guys, going into the next season, the dynamic's going to be very different. You're probably going to be ranked really high. How does that change kind of your approach to getting this team emotionally ready to do what it needs to do as compared to this past season?
Yeah, well, first of all, I think that's a good thing that our program is where it should be, as far as expected to be one of the top teams and all that. Our approach will be no different. We will still work just as hard. We'll still have the same philosophy about hard work, about improving, and about keeping our edge.
Gus, what's the plan with Nick now that you actually have some time to really sit down and develop him and stuff? What are you looking for him from the next several months?
Well, we're very excited about the spring with Nick. I mean, we got information, a lot of information throughout the season, and we'll really go back and even build around his strengths even more. What he did in 1 year, not going through spring and not winning the job until 2 weeks before the season, was phenomenal. And I don't know if there's ever been a situation similar to that. Really think that his upside is very, very high. He's a natural leader. His teammates have a lot of respect for him, as well as coaches do. And this will be the first time that we've actually had a quarterback come back, after 1 year. So we're pretty excited about that.
What are one or two things you think that Nick can really improve on with this time going through spring and summer?
He throws the ball well. I think the big thing is just getting timing down with him and his receivers, which, and then just giving him probably a little more freedom now that he'll know the offense even better, because week to week you got a game plan. It was good for him having that 30 days, and I think you could see that in the passing game and all that, but we're looking forward to spring.
I know you guys really like the way he's thrown the ball in practice. Could you see that skill set kind of opening the offense up in terms of more pass plays next year?
Yeah, it could be. I mean, we could, we'll see where we're at with the talent around him. We could be more balanced, but at the same time, and we're going to play to our strengths, and we really feel like we can be effective in the passing game.
At left tackle with Greg going, is Patrick Miller a guy you might look at over there, or who are some of the other guys?
Yeah, Sean Coleman, Patrick Miller, Robert left. I mean, we're going to open that dude up and see who wins that job. And the good thing is we have a little bit of depth at that has some experience.
Will Avery Young get a look on the left side, or are you going to keep him on the right?
We haven't got that far yet.
Okay.
As we get done with recruiting and we'll kind of start thinking a little bit more personnel-wise and all that.
You know, Avery sustained a kind of painful injury there during the game, and he played through it. What did it say about him in your eye?
Yeah, first play of the game. You know, he's a tough guy. He's a great competitor. He had a pretty bad ankle injury, you know, midway through the year and battled through that. And he's very athletic. You know, he's a great kid.
What kind of other position changes, is there any position changes? I saw Trevon Reed said something on Instagram about him going to the corner.
Yeah, that was premature. We've not talked about any of that. And, you know, we'll, once we get to spring and our meetings, pre-spring meetings, we'll talk through, you know, things like that.
Any position, you're talking about any position changes?
Yeah.
Seemed like Brady Ford too, still gonna be a while before you figure out.
Yeah, you know, with him, it was great with him. We had a need. He asked to move over there, and we'll evaluate all those things at a later date.
Did all the guys, all the early enrollees get in? Are they all here?
Yes, yeah, they're all here and off to a good start.
And that's Devontae Lambert as well.
Yeah.
Could you talk about especially the two high school guys and what sort of transition it is for them to come straight from high school, starting school here, and then I guess starting winter workouts whenever y'all get those started?
Yeah, you know, it's good, especially, you know, the junior college players. You know, it's a little easier transition. The high school guys, I mean, it's something new, but we got a very good support staff. Their teammates have already, you know, developed relationships with them, trying to help them out. And that's the great thing about our group. We're a close team, and they take care of each other.
Now, there's some talk about Ricky Parks being able to rejoin the team. Has that happened yet? Do you expect it?
Yeah, he's walking on, and we're going to give him an opportunity, you know, to prove himself.
Help with depth there. What do you kind of told him what to expect for him going into the spring?
Really nothing other than we're going to give him the opportunity.
Guys, what do you envision with the H-back role with Jay gone?
Well, I mean, that's going to be a big question this spring. We'll mix and match guys. We'll try a lot of different guys, and we'll see, you know, see where we're at.
Gus, how'd you spend the days afterwards? I know you guys gotta get back recruiting and everything, but personally, did you take some time off to get away from it, or did you go right back and watch film?
No, we had the next morning, got up, it was a travel day. We got in pretty late here. You know, the fans were unbelievable when they got here. We got the best fans in college football, and they prove it time and time again. It was just unbelievable in California, and then to come back here. The next day, you know, got up same time, got in the office same time, and, you know, we got recruiting, and you got to move on. You got to move on, and we're going to keep this thing going, and not a lot of time to rest.
You know, some coaches have said that losing that game is the hardest loss to come back from. Is it about as tough as you've had to deal with?
Yeah, it's pretty tough. There's no doubt it's pretty tough when you get that close, and you know. But hey, you got to find a way to move on, and the future's bright. And that's what I told our team, you know, last night, that the groundwork's laid, and the future's bright, and we're looking forward. And I'm excited. Once I get over the feeling of when you lose a championship game that close, you put that behind you, you move forward, and I'm excited. And so we'll work extremely hard to get back there and try to redeem ourselves.
You've been in those situations before you come just very short. What does that do for you, just as your work ethic?
Yeah, well, you're always looking for things to motivate you, and that's a very motivating thing for me. That's the way I'm looking at it.
Gus, after the press conference, Jimbo's right after the game the next day, he indicated that there was reports of coaches stealing signs, stealing signals, you know, reports from fans and stuff like that, seeing that from Damien or somebody like him. What do you see? What was your reaction to that?
That's the first I heard about it.
So he wasn't working with the defense to try to, you know.
I don't really know what you're talking about.
Guys, are you expecting any transfers, Kyle Frazier or anybody looking to?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. Kyle Frazier is moving on. We appreciate everything that he's done. He's been a class individual. He's a winner, and we're going to root for him in the future.
Has he indicated where he's going?
Not this time.
Anybody else?
What was that conversation like with Kyle? I mean, you guys go way back.
Sure, sure. I mean, I'm extremely close to him, and, you know, he's always been nothing but a winner with his attitude. We've talked throughout the year, and he just felt like at this time, you know, he felt like he wanted to go somewhere and play quarterback, and we wish him nothing but the best. He's a winner, and he'll do well.
Have you spoken to Josh Floyd about that decision as well?
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah.
What was that conversation like?
Well, I mean, you know, Josh is his former high school coach and former quarterback of mine, so we've been communicating, you know, throughout.
Justin Delane wasn't on the roster for the BCS game. Is he still with the program, or?
We're working through that.
You guys, how did your backup punters do? It's been a long time since anybody punted since Stephen Clark.
In practice, they do pretty good. Stephen Clark's, you know, one of the best punters in college football. That'd be a big void, but, you know, we feel like we got some guys that'll compete for the job in the spring.
Was he hurt in the championship game? Just didn't look like it.
No, the ball wasn't carrying real well, you know, wasn't carrying real well.
Because what's the plan now, you know, they get back in the weight room? How important is that going to be with getting the second year under Ryan and those guys?
Yeah, it'll be very valuable. You know, we're way ahead of schedule right now. Our off-season, our in-season strength and conditioning program is very progressive. Matter of fact, we had some guys have personal gains during the season, which is fairly rare, so we're in really good shape there. Our guys are excited to get back to work with Coach Russell, and I think that's a very good thing, you know, from my standpoint.
Did you give them a little time off this week before they start winter workouts?
Yeah, they have discretionary weeks, and, you know, they work out on their own.
Could you tell us when they'll start the winter workouts?
I believe it'll be in 2 weeks that they'll start back with Coach Russell. Then we'll get into February when we have our 6 a.m.s and all that.
You had the chance to sit down with Jay Jacobs and discuss, you know, your assistants and the salary pool there and potential raises yet?
Oh, we have.
You feel good about that situation, helping them out?
Yeah, definitely. We got one of the best staffs in college football, and like I said, we'll do everything in our power to keep them together.
Yes, we talked
Do you have a
about,
time frame for signing the contract, kind of getting those details finalized? Your contract?
Yes, yeah, that'll be in the near future.
Gus, we talked about Trey yesterday, but can you kind of talk about some of the other impact seniors that you know, that are leaving?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard I mean, they were all, as a group, they were very impactful, and not just what they did on the field, but what they did off the field. I mean, you know, if you think back at the last spring, I mean, before we even got out on the practice field, there was a lot of things that, from a leadership standpoint of their team, they took their team, you know, and they took it and they made sure that we were close. They took a fragmented team and brought it together. We had very few off the field issues, and that's where it started. And it started before we even played football, and that's a group that'll be remembered. I mean, there's a lot of great memories that now that the season's over with, you can kind of look back, and there was a couple wow moments. And but it all started with those seniors, keeping this team together, keeping them believing. They represented Auburn very well, represented you know, their families. It was a fun group to be a part of.
Can you also speak to Jeff Whitaker, what the impact he's made, just getting back out on the field? Kind of now
Yeah, Jeff Whitaker's one of our overall leaders. He has a lot of wisdom for his age, and you know, coaches have a lot of confidence in him as well as his teammates.
Gus, next year you've got a really difficult road schedule with five road games, including Alabama and Georgia. How difficult is that as compared to like this year?
Yeah, well, of course, you know, we're playing home. Obviously, we feel like we have a huge advantage. But, you know, the good thing is we'll have a lot of veteran guys that our coaches are familiar with. They're familiar with the coaches. And so, you know, we should be in good shape to be able to travel on the road.
From the guys who were hurt, are you expecting only Jeff to really be available in the spring between Jalen, Josh, Javier? Those guys all going to be non-contact guys? Or?
Well, we're still working through that. I mean, obviously, we would like to have all those guys in contact, but the good thing is most of them are veteran guys that already have an idea about the system and everything that goes with that.
Going back into spring, can you just, going back even a year ago, can you just speak to the journey that Justin Garrett had from going from being that productive and that big a player for you
Yeah.
guys to having the rough year that he ended up having?
You know, I think it even, you know, with that being said, it even, what turnaround that we did make, I mean, Justin Garrett was really the MVP of the spring and battling injuries and really didn't get to play hardly at all, and we were still able to have a successful year. And so, you know, hopefully we can get him healthy and he can come back and, you know, help us in the fall.
Gus, what's your approach when you're trying to build relationships with your players? We see some of the videos pregame in the locker room and stuff, and you really have a connection with your players. You've done it since you've been a high school coach. So what's your approach in building those?
Well, I think it's about honesty. It's about developing a relationship, that trust on both ends, and that's where it starts.
Can you be friends with your former players?
There's a fine line. I mean, you know, if you're their coach, you know, there's a relationship, but, you know, after they move on, I mean, that's when you really develop, you know, the coach friendship, and you help them later in life, and you communicate and all that. But when you're the coach, you know, there's a line there, but our guys understand that. And
You guys talk about the growth from, I mean, you guys started winter workouts about this time last year in one season, just the growth of the program overall.
right, where we came since winter workouts is, you know, where we're at today. It's really impressive to see our guys grow and come together, and all the things it takes to be successful, that they did it in a short period of time. You know, we had some talent here, but they all came together, and everything else it takes off the field to be successful, they did it. And that's a tribute to those guys.
Guys, as you make this last couple of weeks towards signing day, is there one particular area you're looking to focus on more than another?
You know, really, it's just fill our overall needs, you know, moving forward. There's not one area that really stands out. It's just more of a big picture, getting the right people in here, you know, that can help us moving forward.
When January 15th hits and the dead period ends, how hectic is it going to be for you and your staff for those 3 weeks between then and Sunday?
Yeah, you know, once contact starts, I mean, you put the hammer down, and it's pretty fast and furious. But you know, the staff did a wonderful job last year in a short period of time, and now that we've had a year to develop some relationships and all that, that's definitely helped.
Guys, what have you learned here in the last 13 months since you took the job?
What have I learned? I don't know if there's any one thing that really stands out. I mean, I love being here at Auburn. I love being the head coach of the Auburn Tigers. I mean, that's really the main thing for me.
Do you plan on chatting with anybody, consulting with anybody, try to get some feedback on your offense or defense, whether college football or NFL coaches?
You know, after recruiting as staff, you always kind of reevaluate everything through the year and all that, and you move forward. And you know, so we'll cross that bridge, you know, once recruiting's over, and we'll you know, see about that.
Back to recruiting, you pretty pleased with the class you already have together?
Yeah, I think everything is going very good. I think the future is very bright, and it's an exciting time, you know, for me, you know, being the head coach.
Gus, can you speak to your expectations for, you know, Williams, Druid, Moncrief, you know, some of those guys, the new guys coming in? What are your expectations moving forward now?
Yeah, well, I mean, the junior college guys, you know, we expect to make an impact right off the bat, and we feel like the younger guys, the fact they're here early, you know, it gives them a semester ahead of the other guys.
Jonathan Jones, did he get hurt the other night? Is anything serious?
He did, yeah. He pulled his hamstring on that kickoff return they had, and you know, that was pretty unfortunate.
Did you think he had an angle? Do you think he could have gotten that guy if he hadn't hurt himself?
No, but he fell down about the 40-yard line and stayed down.
Gus, as far as you know, is anybody else that's still looking at the NFL? Any of the other?
I don't think so. I think everything is pretty much done with that, and I think we're pretty much intact moving forward.
Anything else? All right, good. Thank you.
Thanks.